We off.
And hello
Off we
and
go.
welcome to At the Picnics show number 7. We have a very, very, very special guest this week. But before we introduce him, hello, Danny. Thank you, and always a pleasure having you.
Afternoon all. How are we all? Is everybody going nuts on the school holidays?
Yes, I'm enjoying it.
I imagine you would be. You're a teacher. You're supposed to.
Shh, don't tell everyone. And our very special guest this weekend, we don't have a trainer, we don't have a jockey, we've got a clerk of the course, and we've got Andrew Taylor, and everybody that knows Andy, they all say he's one of the really nice guys in the racing industry. And a very good evening to you, Andrew.
Yeah, how are we going, mate? Good to see you.
Good to see you, mate. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We'll get back to you shortly. We'll just have a quick chat about last weekend's racing. Danny, how did it go?
Mansfield presented a beautiful track. Winners were coming from the rail, from back, from on the pace, from everywhere. It played really evenly. I think everybody had a really good day out. Yeah, it's a lovely track up there, and it presented well, and yeah, it was a good day out.
Fantastic. And of course, it was the Cup day.
Yeah, it was.
How was the crowd?
It was a good crowd up there. They can be a little bit hit and miss with the crowd sometimes, but it was a really solid crowd. They had a great vibe going through the place, and the weather was perfect. It was a really, really lovely day. The Cup winner was very solid. But for the life of me, the name of the horse has escaped me. And I haven't written anything down because I've been in a hurry.
Congratulations to the horse that won the Cup.
Oh, bloody hell.
We'll get back to it.
Anyway, sorry, guys. It was a really good win by him and very well deserved. It was a really solid effort. So great
well
day
done.
out.
And we've got a double header this weekend. We've got Woolamai on Saturday and we've got Balnarring on Sunday. And very much looking forward to that.
It's going to be a great day out. Woolamai have been promoting this as their kids' day out. So there's supposed to be plenty of activities for the kids and everybody to get down there. I know Mel and a few of his mates are going to be down there, so there'll be plenty of vocal support for me and anyone else that they know and like. So God help us all, we'll be dead. And my friend Zoe. And Zoe's going to have a couple of her schoolmates down there, so we're bringing along the kids for moral support for the kids' day out. So it'll be great.
Good on you, Zoe. Now, we'll just quickly go through the leading jockeys. We've got Sean Cooper on 7, Melinda McDonald on 7, and Melinda didn't have any rides last weekend. And we've got Tyson Barton on 6, and the Trainers Premiership, we've got Troy Kilgour on 6, Don Dwyer 4, and Tony Carter-Smith on 4. Yeah,
it's been a really spread out season so far. Everybody's having a good crack, so it's great to see that everybody's getting their fair chances, and it's going to be interesting to watch the season play out this year. There's plenty of horses from plenty of places, and obviously Troy and Don have a large team and get off to pretty much every meeting everywhere, so they're both having solid seasons. There's been a couple of frustrating runs for both of them, but their horses all look amazing. And they're going really well, so it's great to see.
Good stuff, and good to see that you've got a few rides this weekend too, Danny.
Keep me out of mischief. Yeah, I think I've ended up with four on Saturday, just the 2 on Sunday. One of my Sunday rides went and hurt itself in the paddock through the week, so it'll be waiting till Australia Day. A couple of others weren't ready, so they'll be waiting for Australia Day. Some of the field sizes were a little bit disappointing this week, but that can happen when we have 2 meetings that are so close together, which is a bit of a shame. But I'm sure as we kick off, it'll be a great weekend of racing. Obviously, Woolamai is going to be a little bit hot, but I think they've revised the temperature from 37 back to about 33. So that's a lot nicer than originally forecast.
Absolutely, and Andy lives just around the course, around the corner from the course, and he'll probably tell us in the afternoon that probably gets a bit of a sea breeze there, Andy.
Yes, it does. It's cooled down a bit now, like the breeze here, and it's pretty good. Just as long as the breeze stays around and keeps the flies away. So, you know,
Andy, how do you go backing up for a double header?
I haven't done it for a while, Dan. You know, I know. I'm glad I got 2 horses, so one will have a day off.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, Nemo's going to have a day tomorrow.
Yep.
Top Sin, who used to race. He's
I rode him a couple of times for you as well,
Yeah.
and there's a few other riders out there that will remember him. He was a great horse.
he was a good old horse to ride. He'd only go the one pace, but
He'd go that pace all day.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, so he's then Sam will go to Balnarring.
Yep.
So
Tell me, how many years have you been clerking now, Andy?
I think it's about 28 years.
Jesus. I knew it had been a while. I didn't realise it was that long.
Yeah, because I was doing Cranbourne. I was the first clerk at Cranbourne Training Complex.
Yep.
And then Brian Johnson, I think it is, Fran Houlihan's husband.
Yep.
He come up and said to me, mate, we need a clerk at Balnarring. And I said, oh, yeah, I'll have a crack.
Yep.
And that's when I had old Seymour there.
Yes.
And he was he'd done it till he was 24. So, and he raced.
He was a ripping old horse.
Yeah, he raced at Mansfield. Actually, he won in my first race as a trainer.
Really?
Yeah.
So you had him pretty much his whole life then?
Oh, Kirsty did. My wife.
Yep.
She brought him for a show horse. And yeah, and I said, just let us have one run with him, and we took him to the Mansfield, and he won. So
beautiful.
And then he went back up on the Tuesday and done the trials and back to the races in Clarkin. So.
Andy, for anyone that's watching this and may not know what a clerk of the course is, can you just give us a very quick, brief explanation on what you actually do? What are your duties on race day?
Well, my duties on race day is mount up down the stables, hunt the trainers to saddle their horses, get them into the mountain yard 10 to 15, or depends where the race is, 10 to 15 minutes into the mountain yard, get the jockeys on, and I seem to know maybe Danny might need a lead. The trainer tells me, and I lead Danny down to the barriers, get her to the barriers safe. And once she's in the barriers, the race starts, and then hopefully Danny rides a winner, and I lead her back to the mountain yard. Then
It
the
certainly
job's
wouldn't
done.
be the first time that Andy's ever caught me after a race either. There was a couple of seasons I was riding for Ray Caldwell, and his horses didn't always like pulling up after one lap. So Andy would often catch me round the back straight at Woolamai because I couldn't pull my horses up.
What happens in a race, Andy, if three trainers come up to you and say, can you please lead my horse to the barrier? What do you do there?
Well, these days now, they've got to go and see the stewards first to get it a lead, because it used to end up with 4 or 5 horses to lead in one race, and you get in an argument. But they've got to see the stewards, and then they come and tell us. And whoever doesn't get it is late, they'll sort of have to either trot down beside us or go down on their own. So try and help everybody, but you can't help everybody because there's only 2 of us. So
exactly. Now I reckon at Woolamai on Saturday there'll be a grey horse you'll be leading down to the barrier, and I think it's in about race 5. She can get a bit edgy. So
okay.
Good luck with her, mate.
Oh, it should be right. We've had some bad ones, mate. Let me tell you.
I've seen a few of them play up, mate, and it doesn't make your job easy.
I'm lucky that I got 2 good horses that I can trust, so it makes my job a lot easier too. So
good on you. Now, you go,
I was going to
Danny.
say, Andy, for anyone who doesn't know your background, can you give us a quick reminisce of what your background in racing is and how you've come through?
Yes, I can do that. When I was 14 and 12, I used to hang around with harness people, the trotting people, Don Dove and Darky Wilson. That goes back to the showgrounds days. And I used to ride all the trotters round because all I want to do is ride. And I used to ride a horse called Manara. He won 2 AG Cups back in 74, 75. And then I wasn't all that good at school. And I went and got a job as an apprentice jockey to hopefully be a jockey. And I went to Bruce Purcell and a few other trainers before Bruce. And then Bruce applied for an apprentice. I went down there, signed up, ended up being an apprentice. rode 14 winners, Barnsdale Cup, Family Man Cup, and then sort of give it away and thought, I started getting heavy, rode over the jumps for probably 8 or 9 years, then got a trainer's license and started training. And then I got opportunity. What's that, mate? Sorry?
I was going to say, how much has the jumps training and the jumps racing changed over the years that you've seen it? Obviously a fair bit, but having ridden over them.
I think the jumping improved, but I'd like to see more jumps to slow them up a bit. And and they jump better. Like back in the day, we jumped them properly, and horses respected them. Like you're getting horses that should be running the Melbourne Cup. They're running in maidens, years ago. But that's all. It's all changed. But I'd like to see more jumps in the races and slow them up a bit. But that's me being old fashioned. So
now, Andy, you've got your lovely wife Kirsten, and you've got your two boys Robbie and Dylan. Are they involved in horse racing in any way?
Not really. Robbie used to, when he was younger, he used to hang around with Kirsty and I. Well, he had no opportunity. He was always wherever we went, and we had a good horse called Cavalier. He loved her, and then Dill come along. He's got the ability to ride it, but he's a more or less a full forward. But he gets in and has a thing about having a punt, and he looks at the horses a bit. So he likes the horses. So hopefully we can get him into an owner or something as the horses. So
what does a day for you at the races entail? Getting yourself and your horses and that to the races. What are your movements?
With the old boys, I probably get home like Kirsty will probably take Nemo over, saddle him up, and I like come in there like you do, like a jockey, and jump on, and then she's me backbone. I'd be lost without her because she does all the work. And
there's a good team effort there.
Yes, it's been like that for years. So, like when we used to take a truckload of horses for the races, I'd do the clerking and she'd do all the race work. So, and we'd probably nearly have one time we'd have probably 5 horses on the truck and one on the float to do the clerking, and she'd be saddling up, and and we'd like back in the day, like when I was training as well, we won the Ballinarian Cup and this premiership, so that was a big goal for me. So, but she done all the work, so she doesn't get the pat on the back, but it's my name. But I know where all the work come from. Wasn't me.
At least you're giving her a good rap now, so we know it's an appreciated effort.
You know what she's like, mate. I don't step in her area. That's out of my league. The boss is the boss.
And you're not overstepping the line.
That's right, mate.
So what are some of the other highlights that you've had through your training career?
Well, Cavalier, she won the Alexander Cup. I'd hidden in the jockey's room when that was on. She won 2 races at Maui for me. She was probably the best horse I ever had. Like every horse I had, like I had probably nearly all the top jocks ride. Biggest highlight for me was old Ray Douglas riding the winner for me at Balnarring on a horse called Furban. He didn't actually have a ride in the race. And I rang him up and said, "Oh, mate, yours is scratch." He goes, No, it's running. I said, No, mate, yours is scratch. I said, I need you to ride Furban and he'll win. And at the 600, the broadcaster said he can't win from there. And blow me down. Ray got right up in the fence and he won it. But a year before that, the first 3 horses ran in the same race, and they ran in the first 3 race order. Yeah, and you were on the second one, both times.
I was too. Yes.
Yeah. So.
Oh, that's hilarious.
yeah. So yeah, but I had a good time. Like Bodes rode a lot of winners for me,
Yeah.
and probably another big thing that was when Bodes was on his last ride, and I was working for Ricky Morn, and old grey horse. I had gone flat in my battery. Yeah, it was Anya Keithy. I was riding work. Well, not riding work, but I was working him in that, and I took him down to shoot, and he jumped 12 hurdles. And I said to Bodes, he won't get beat today, mate. He'll win the cup, which he did. So
He did. He won it really well too. It was a very fitting.
So that was sort of the pride, and just because I just used to, I still do love the picnics, like seeing everybody there. So
We love your help, mate. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Yeah, I know it's a few years. I see a few bad ones. I thought, oh, there we go again. So Courtney Pace is another one. She went into a lot of trouble with a couple of horses. I helped her out a fair bit. So, but she was a dag. I can't say what she said to me one day, but I won't say it. She's riding a couple of months.
I got to be careful. I get told off for swearing now and then too.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Last question from me, Andy, is a clerk of the course horse, do they have to go through a special training regime to be able to do the job?
Yes, now they do. They've got to go to the trials for about 5 or 6 times, and then they get assessed and they see how they cope with other horses leaning on them and pushing them around. So, yeah, they do, yes.
And I found out something the other day, which Danny told me, and it totally makes sense, and that is that you can't have a mare as a clerk of the course horse for the reasons we're all thinking of.
Yeah, because they come in season and you might be leading a colt and then you're in big trouble.
Good distraction.
So it's better to have the old Geldman.
Yep.
But now they sort of want greys at them now, so they're hopefully, but not all horses will suit the job. They've got to be really special, and it's very hard to find them. Yeah, a good horse to do what some of these horses do. So yeah. So
tell us about your current big horse that you lead. You use as your lead pony these days. He's got a pretty good past on him.
Sam.
Yes.
Yes, he goes. He was actually at Eric Musgrove's, and Gota's trained him. Then Eric had him to jump him, and he didn't come. He wasn't sound, and so Eric, Kirsty happened to be at Eric's, and she said, "Oh well, we'll take him," and because old Seymour was just about to retire, and he was in full work, and he was in the same paddock, and he passed away. And we thought, oh, geez, we'll have to get him. We saddled him up, and he went down just like he was Sam. It was just like he was Seymour. Everything he'd done, and even some of the jockeys said, oh, that's old Seymour. I said, no, Seymour passed away a week ago. But he just stepped into the job, And
he's been an amazing pony. And what was his race name, Andy?
Module.
He was a very handy horse.
Yes, he was. And, we nearly lost him 2 years ago, I think, with colic. And we had everyone kicked in, all the picnic people and all that kicked in, and we got him right. And it wasn't only he'd be 6 months and he was back at the track. So he was a tough old fella. So
he's an absolute treasure. He's a ripping horse, and his personality traits are so much like Sam.
Yeah.
Seymour's.
Yeah.
I know I've definitely been one of them. One of the riders that has said he's literally just walked into his footsteps. He's been amazing.
Yep, he is. He's just a one of a kind. He just where you think he wouldn't be doing it, and he just stepped up.
Yeah,
he was just one of 1,000. You could say.
Yeah, 1 in a million. I reckon he's pretty special.
Yeah, I reckon he is.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
But he's got his little tricks too. He can be trotting along and it'll be the last race, and he's got to have the last say, and he'll have a little shy or something, and try and dislodge you or something.
Just
But he's good.
something quirky to make sure that you're paying attention. That's all.
Yeah, right. Yes. Yep.
So, all right. Couple of quick questions for you, Andy.
Yep.
Okay, I'll give you double headers because you've ridden and you've jumped and you've clerked. So, favourite track you've ever ridden on?
Flemington.
Best race you've ever won?
Barnsdale Cup.
Absolutely. What's your favourite track to clerk at? I suppose Woolamai, really, because it's so close to home.
Pretty Balnarring I like. He's probably the best.
What would be your ideal holiday destination?
Queensland. I don't go
Footy
far.
or rugby?
Footy.
Pub or takeaway at home?
Pub.
Beer, wine or spirits?
Spirits.
What's your scariest moment been with your horses?
The scariest moment. Sort of make Sam when he was sick,
Yeah.
trying to get him to the vet clinic without him in the float.
Yep. Yeah, that's probably horrible, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. They're buggers of things out for kids. They're they make us feel all sorts of things.
Oh, they definitely do. Because you live with them, you live and breathe with them.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Now, Danny, you and Andy have got something in common.
Yeah.
Yeah, both Geelong supporters.
I'm not a Geelong supporter.
I thought you were a Geelong supporter.
No, I'm Bombers.
Are you? Oh, jeez.
No wonder she got on with Bodie.
Absolutely. Bodes and Lee Taylor and myself, all three of us are Essendon kids. Just for those of you who've forgotten, go the Bombers.
No. Me and Andy both said no at the same time.
I know.
Now, Andy, you've seen a few of the shows, so we've got our friend who always drops in at the end here. We've got Chris Hemsworth and, of course, Picnic Bet.
Yep.
All right, gamble responsibly. We love Picnic Bet.
Yep.
Now, he wants to know, he's thinking about becoming a clerk of the course, so he wants to know what he needs to do, because he's got his own horse here, so he's ready to go. All right, what does he need to do, mate?
Well, he needs a bridle and saddle for starters.
and he's got this one as well, mate, but he's a bit worried it's a bit small.
Yeah.
I think he's a bit little, that one.
A bit little. Now, he wants to know, at Woolamai on Saturday, he's going to come down. He's going to come down in the limo. So to learn to be clerk of the course, could he jump on the back of the horse with you?
No, he can't get on the back. No.
Can't get on the
Health
back?
and safety these days, mate.
Oh. Can he bring the little Shetland pony and follow you around?
Yeah, you can do that.
All right. Danny's got a couple of them. You borrow one of them.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Stella will be wrapped to come out for a day out. That'd be awesome.
All right. Thank you so much, Andy. It was an absolute pleasure to have you, mate. Everyone that knows you, as I said before, in the picnic racing circuit, they love you, mate. You're one of the real nice guys, and it was a pleasure to have you on.
No worries. I appreciate you having me on, mate. Thank you.
No worries.
We're very grateful for all your work, Andy. You, Sally, Kev, Cindy, you do a great job, and yes, you've certainly been my catcher a few times. I'm very, very grateful for all that you all do for us. So look forward to catching up with you on Saturday, mate. Thanks heaps for joining us today.
No worries. Thank you.
All right. And on next
Take care, mate. See ya.
On next week's shows, Danny, we have got a very, very special guest. We have got Bose is back. But we're not going to say he's actually not our special guest.
Oh.
We have a very, very special guest. And Bose is going to be doing a lot of the questions this week. So looking forward to who that's going to be, Danny.
God help me.
I think we've just given away who our special guest is next week. It's Danny Walker. And Danny's
Colour
got
on my face, didn't I'm sure it did.
Danny has got a lifetime of stories to tell us about on where she has come from, being born and raised into a horse family, and to what she's actually doing today. It's an amazing story. She's had some hardships, and she's more than happy to talk about them and tell us a bit more about her personal life. So thank you, Danny. We're looking forward to that.
No worries. Thanks, Paul.
You know you're going to get
God
stirred
help
up.
me. God help everybody else. I hope you're not too bored.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Look, to everyone riding and training this weekend, good luck. Thanks heaps to Picnic Bet for all of this, and we'll catch
Absolutely.
up with everyone soon. Have a great weekend. Take care.
All right. Take care, everybody. We'll be back next week. See you later.
Catch you, mate. Bye.
See ya.